Hi there. I want to share 4 practices you can start today to stop feeling drained and re-energize your battery, especially if you're an empath. But first, let me know if this sounds like you. Have you ever struggled with being in a crowd or maybe just being around one intense person and then feeling really depleted afterwards? If your answer is yes, have you ever asked yourself why that happens? Or what you could do about it so you wouldn't feel so drained after those interactions? Because it doesn't feel good, right? And it makes you either A, not want to go to certain places or see certain people and socialize because you know it's going to be tiring, or B, you just start to self-isolate more because you don't want to deal with what I like to call an energetic hangover. And unfortunately, when you do either one of those things, your world tends to start to get smaller and less vibrant because you're not fully participating in life with the people that the way your soul wants to. If this sounds familiar, don't worry, you're in the right place. You are in the right place if you're done with feeling overwhelmed, drained, exhausted, and just worn out from social interactions and ready to reclaim your energy and inner peace while still interacting with people and the places and the activities that you enjoy. I'm sharing 4 tangible practices you can implement today to stop feeling drained and re-energize your batteries. These are things I do daily, and I know they will make such a big difference for you. Okay, but before we get into the practices, I want to introduce myself if you're new here and why I became interested in this topic in the first place. So like you, I am a sensitive person. This quality, being overly sensitive, makes you hyper aware of when you're feeling good and also when you're feeling bad. And when you're wired this way, you know how impactful bad feelings and emotions are on your life, so you naturally want to help others feel good and drop the struggle. In my mid-20s, I was miserable. It was the most difficult time in my life, hands down. I was working 3 jobs, all of which I hated. I was broke, and there was a disconnect between who I knew I was and how I was living. I was anxious every time I left the safety of my tiny apartment in Chicago because I felt exposed energetically to the point where I would get uncomfortable heart palpitations. And even though I had friends, after spending time with them, I was exhausted. And I felt like I needed a lot of alone time to recharge. The struggle was real because even though I was trying to find a way to feel better, I felt like I was drowning. I tried getting out in nature more, but it was hard being in a city because I was surrounded by 3 million people. I tried Xanax, which I hated because then I couldn't feel anything at all. And I tried to find other sensitive, heart-centered friends because I thought they would understand how I was feeling, but it turned out they were also drowning in their own struggles. So not very helpful at all. But the biggest challenge during this time was that I was naively hanging out with narcissists and energy vampires who benefited from my open and caring heart and my genuine desire to help. What I didn't realize at the time was that these people feed off of qualities of your good nature. So they may not obviously be mean, but they crave your time, your attention, your energy, and your advice with no exchange or benefit to you. So it is very tiring. So as a result, as you probably can guess, being in this type of environment for years left me really drained, left me really fatigued. But what was probably more damaging was that it eroded the confidence in me trusting myself, me speaking my truth, and asking for what I needed and setting boundaries. And deep down, what I knew was right for me was hard to hear because the external chatter was louder. Then one day I was online and I found somebody who was talking about energy and boundaries and being an empath, and all of a sudden, everything clicked. I had been feeling these same exact things. That is when I realized I'm an empath. It was a light bulb moment. And after finding that out, my sensitivity and all the very subtle intuitive feelings that I had experienced felt validated. And that's when I became obsessed with all things energy, basically, and how empaths can use their sensitivity to their advantage because it really is a gift if you know how to use it. So let's do a quick check to see if you might be an empath. An empath is a person who is highly attuned to the emotions and the energies of others. So they tend to easily pick up on the energy of other people and the energy in their environment. And I just want to clarify, Empathy versus being an empath. Empathy refers to being able to relate to another person from their viewpoint, like putting yourself in their shoes and having compassion for their experience. However, being an empath goes even further. Empaths are people who have such a high amount of empathy that it extends to actually taking on those feelings, feeling what another person is feeling at a deep emotional and sometimes physical level. Empaths often get exhausted, depleted, and drained from feeling too much unless they've developed strategies to sort of what I call safeguard their sensitivities and develop healthy energetic boundaries. So if you're starting to think you may be an empath, some common empath traits are that they crave alone time. They naturally love to help others, sometimes to the detriment of themselves. They are sensitive to loud noises and strong smells. They are highly intuitive. They may have trouble fitting in or feel a little different. Black sheep, right? Have a hard time setting boundaries. They dislike or avoid conflict. People tend to easily share their problems with them. They don't really like crowds so much. Today, I claim my empath powers fully. I decided I was going to make my sensitivities work for me, not against me. And I'm so glad I did. With my sensitivities and my intuition intact, life is so much more magical and energizing. It's actually a blessing. So if you think you might be an empath, welcome to the club. It is actually, like I was saying, a blessing when you approach it from a place of power and not a place of victimhood. So what would it mean for your life if your sensitivities didn't feel draining and instead you knew that your sensitivities were actually your intuition, your clairsenses trying to communicate with you? If that's you, we're going to cover 4 practices to help you get to where you need to be. All right, so let's go. First of 4 practices you can start today to stop feeling drained and re-energize your batteries is the egg of light. This is a popular practice, and it's a really easy technique that I do daily and that I teach to my Reiki students and my one-on-one clients to protect their energy. And as a sensitive person, this is so important to know how to do this. This egg of light helps to deflect any denser or heavier energy, aka bad vibes, from disrupting how you feel. And what you do is to imagine your entire body encased in an egg of white light. This is like energy management 101. The egg of light can be used anytime you're leaving your home, anytime you're in a crowded place, or anytime you're out and about and just feel kind of weird vibes, weird energy. This egg of light is put into place with your intention and your visualization, so you can do it anytime and anywhere. Depending on how strong or how vulnerable you're feeling, I encourage you to make your egg a certain color. The white egg of light that you would draw around you is great for every day. The frequency of white is very high vibrational, so when you do a white egg of light, energy can flow out from you and into you. The gold egg is beneficial too. So gold holds a slightly higher vibration than white. The energy is still able to flow both ways in and out, but with a higher vibrational filter. So it's kind of like the good vibes only filter. And then we have silver. Visualizing and intending a silver egg of light is more reflective and is more protective. When you imagine a silver bubble, it's like a one-way mirror. So if you're a Star Trek fan, it's like you're cloaked, so nobody can see you. So the energy only moves one way, and that is from you outward. I like to use the silver color in crowded places like the airport or train station, anywhere you feel where you need a little bit more energetic protection and don't want to be seen. So now that you have your 3 options for your egg of light protection, how you put this egg of light into place is that you inhale into your heart and then you exhale your breath and visualize your egg of light coming out around you like you're blowing a bubble of light from your heart. And this fills up your auric space. You want to do this until it fills up your auric space and you're entirely encased, your full body, in the egg of light. And if this sounds crazy to you, here's a science fact. Both the brain and the heart generate electromagnetic fields. According to the Heart Math Institute, these fields do transmit information about people's thoughts and emotions. Empaths, HSPs, Starseeds, Lightworkers can be particularly sensitive to this information and become overwhelmed by it. Following that logic, empaths often have stronger physical and emotional responses to changes in the electromagnetic fields of the Earth and the Sun, which means empaths can actually sense fluctuations in the Earth's and Sun's magnetic fields that might influence their energy and their mood. So know your body is a sensitive instrument. Second of the 4 practices you can implement today to stop feeling drained is the zip up. This is another way of protecting your energy, so you can use this instead of the egg of light or in addition to it. I'm a big fan of layering protection. The zip up uses one of the energy channels we use in acupuncture and Chinese medicine that runs along the midline of the front of your body. It's one of the pathways that helps to regulate your central nervous system and can act like a radio receiver and channel other people's negative thoughts and negative energies into you. This channel is highly sensitive to the thoughts and feelings of others, so we want to protect that. With this exercise, we're going to close up this pathway like a zipper from your pubic bone to the bottom of your lip, because that's where the channel goes. Doing the zip up exercise will help you feel more confident and positive about yourself. It will help you think more clearly, and it will protect you from negative energies that may be being emitted from other people or present in your environment. Before you start the zip up, tap on this acupuncture point right below your collarbones, kidney 27. This ensures that the meridian is open and flowing. Then you're going to place both fingers, all of your fingers and your hands at the beginning of the channel, which is at the top of your pubic bone, right on the midline. And then you're going to inhale deeply as you move your hands upward, slowly and deliberately, up the center of your chest, up your throat, and to the bottom of your lip. And then just circle back around again and repeat. Sweep all the way up. Inhale while you do it, to the bottom of the lip. I recommend doing this 3 times. That's the exercise. You can do it as much as you need. Just remember to breathe deeply as you're moving your hands up. And this is zipping you up to help you become more present with another person who may be having a conflict or a meltdown. It increases or it decreases the less chance of you getting dragged down by their energy. Here's another science fact. Researchers have discovered empaths have hyper-responsive mirror neurons in our brains, meaning we deeply resonate with other people's feelings. For example, if your spouse gets hurt, you feel hurt too. Your child is crying, you feel sad too. Your friend is happy, you feel happy too. Your brain, in particular, is extra adept at mirroring other people's emotions. The third step of the practices you can implement today to stop feeling drained and re-energize your batteries is to play the game of relief or resistance. You were born with an internal guidance system. It's your emotions. They always give you feedback. One of the ways you can practice managing your energy, keeping your batteries charged, is not by constantly doing things that drain, exhaust, or overwhelm you. And you might be like, well, duh. Of course I would have more energy not doing tiring things. But what I'm talking about here is using your internal guidance system, your emotions, to make micro adjustments on how you invest your energy based on the feeling of relief or resistance. For example, if you have to go get groceries because you literally only have like ketchup and frozen peas at home, but you have a gajillion other things going on and the idea of going shopping makes you want to cry, explore your options using the feeling of relief or resistance. What this might look like is you weighing your options. Option number 1, showing up at the grocery store at 8 o'clock at night and muscling through it. Option number 2, placing an online shopping order and swinging by the store to pick it up. Option number 3, ordering delivery for the night. Now take a breath and observe which option makes you feel the worst or gives you the most resistance, and which option makes you feel better or gives you the most relief. If you can pick the option that gives you the most relief, because everything is energy, and the less energy leaks, the less resistance you have in your body, the better off you'll be. Here's another example of how you can play the resistance or relief game. So you're getting a flurry of emails from your mother-in-law, right? Through text that requires some sort of intricate details to answer and a lot of conversation. So does shooting off a half a dozen incomplete text messages feel like resistance? Or does a phone call at a more convenient time with more complete information feel like relief? Last example, you're at a party, but you're getting increasingly uncomfortable with the conversations. Does taking a stand and sharing your alternative perspective feel like resistance or relief? Or does quietly excusing yourself feel like resistance or relief? And I'm not telling you what to do or by categorizing these things in like generalities. I'm just helping to give you examples to help you navigate what is right for you in that moment. And knowing that what might be right for you now in this moment may be different in the future. The game of resistance or relief actually pairs really, really well with boundary setting. The point is to reclaim as much of your energy as you can with the choices you make about where your time and attention are directed and how it is invested. As the saying goes, energy flows where attention goes. So let's make sure your energy keeps aligning with the things that are not the most depleting and instead align yourself to the choices that better serve you. And remember, you always have more than one option. Pick the one that drains your energy the least and that makes the most sense for you in the moment. The fourth and final practice you can implement today to stop feeling drained and re-energize your batteries is to practice calling your energy back to you. It sounds so simple, but this is super important, especially if you're in a position where you are touching people on a regular basis throughout the day. Like if you're a nurse or a massage therapist or a physical therapist or a Reiki practitioner or an acupuncturist, a caregiver of any kind. This is because anytime you put your hands on someone, there is an energetic exchange. In addition to protecting your energy, which you learn how to do in step 1 and step 2. You also want to clear your energy on a regular basis, which there are a lot of ways of doing that, like smudging, earthing, showering. That is not the topic of this video. At the end of the day, you want to make sure though that you collect all those little loose ends of energy, all those little cords of energy and bring them back to you. I like to do this at the end of the day, and you can do this in the shower or after you crawl into bed at night. So you just close your eyes, pause for a moment. I like to put my hands on my heart and say, I call all parts of myself back to myself through time, space, and planes of existences. And you can imagine little sparkly gold shards of light being magnetized back into your body, back into your solar plexus. This helps you remain complete and sovereign energetically. And remember, it's not the things that we're doing that wear us out. It's what we're not doing. And these practices will help you do and be you even better. All right, to recap in this video, you learned to stop feeling so drained and re-energize your batteries by using the egg of light, the zip up, the relief or resistance game, and calling your energy back to you. Now, if you are truly done with being drained and exhausted from being around people who constantly suck your energy, and you want to learn how to stop the leak because you want to feel better, I invite you to watch this again and to start practicing these on a regular basis. Because wouldn't it be nice to socialize with people in ways that feel good without having an energetic hangover afterwards? Or maybe you now know you're an empath and want to learn energetic self-mastery. Or maybe you want to just learn how to manage your energy more appropriately so you experience less anxiety, less overwhelm, less exhaustion, and create more peace of mind, more presence, and more energy for you to show up for what's important in your life. If that sounds like you, I invite you to stand in your power and really try these practices on. And I just want to say, I'm not special. If I could go from being surrounded by a bunch of energy vampires and immersed in 3 soul-sucking jobs to protecting my energy and empowering myself from the inside out, you can do it too. Nothing I've shared today with you is theory. All of these practices are backed by quantum physics. I've successfully used them myself and taught them to my clients. And now you have some actual skills to practice too. Yay! I encourage you to not continue to rely on the world to suddenly put your comfort and well-being first and at the forefront, because if that is what you expect, good luck. That is a hard road to travel, and if you want to feel good, it's going to be very hard. So I'll see you in the next video if that's you. And if you found this video informative and want to fast track deeper learning about how to protect your energy and transform into a superhero, empath, lightworker, starseed, HSP, and access a guide, someone who has stood in your shoes, has walked that path, and can share all the good stuff, I invite you to check out my Empowered Empath course. It is a self-paced, high-vibe online course for beginner empaths, HSPs, caregivers, starseeds, lightworkers, to help you transform from being drained and tired to energized, inspired, and in your sovereignty. So I will include a link below with all the details, but in this course, it covers all the basics, plus a lot more. You'll learn how to clear your body and your energetic field, define 6 types of self-care, your self-care needs, how to set energetic boundaries, connecting to your higher self, how to see auras, connect to your natural sensitivities, your clairsenses, diving deeper into how to trust your intuition and muscle testing yourself. You will be able to connect the dots of who you are cosmically and part of your purpose in this particular lifetime. Through numerology and astrology, you will uncover some important themes in your life that will help create clarity of why you are here. And you'll meet your guides. I like to call them our team of light and practice connecting and receiving from them. So it's amazing. It's one of my favorite teachings that I have ever created. And after the course is completed, you can expect to feel more energy, more sovereignty, because you know how to protect and clear your energy with authority and confidence. Use your discernment and protect yourself from the energy vampires out there, and you can trust your intuition. You will understand more about creating your own reality and really just integrating all parts of you that feel amazing and that make you feel more unstoppable in what is possible for you. So click the link in the comments section for all of the goodness. And just know that you were called here for a reason, and especially if you made it to the end of this video, there is something that resonates with our energy and is pulling you. And I hope you hear it. I hope you act on it for your own growth, expansion, and all of the amazingness that is your birthright. Have a good week.